Meet Savinder. He's a software ninja and he's one of the smartest technical doers out there. There isn't a Kubernetes cluster that he hasn't climbed. There isn't a cloud that he hasn't been to. And there probably isn't a pipeline that he hasn't built. And Savinder's got the battle scars to show. Give Savinder a technical problem and he will go all in. The organization also takes good care of Savinder. It allows him to work on the most cutting edge technology out there, and it pays for his technology certifications as well. However, things have started shifting gradually in the last 2 to 3 years. And now Savinder finds himself in a leadership position. The dominoes have started to shake. Savinder is no longer the superhero doer that he used to be, and he's struggling to be the awesome leader that he thought he would be. Things that were considered Savinder's abilities have now started becoming his liabilities. He's no longer expected to go all in and solve a problem. In fact, he's expected to stay back and let others solve the problem. He's not in charge. He's responsible for those in his charge. The organization expects Savinder to transition from a doer to a leader rather quickly. And he's almost on his own as well. All of Savinder's mentors have pretty much the same advice. Don't worry, you'll figure it out. This video is to help you figure this out. Let's get started. The perspective. Doers versus leaders. Let's see what defines a great doer. It is his or her laser focus on the outcome. A great doer will go all in and do whatever it takes to deliver the outcome. Now let's see what makes a great leader. Now it's not just you and the outcome anymore. There is another element in the system. It's these people. It's your team and the teams allied around you. If you still continue to focus only on the outcome, these people can start to get uncomfortable and feel almost unwanted. And soon enough, you won't have your team anymore. So, as a leader, you have to shift focus from the outcome to the team who focus on the outcome. These people are the job. Doers' impact area is the outcome. Leaders' impact area is the people whose impact area is the outcome. Dr. Andrew Johnston, in his famous talk, The Doing Dilemma, says, when everything goes well and the smoke clears, the outcome will have your team's fingerprints all over it. And your mark should be on the team. The difference in approach of a doer and a leader. This transition to focus from the outcome to the team is very, very difficult to do. It means that you have to do things very differently than you were doing as a doer. As a doer, when things got tough, you do the following. You turn up your commitment level. You gain all the knowledge required to solve the problem. You burn the all-nighters. Drink all the 15 cups of coffee through the night. You fix that defect or create that presentation. You do whatever it takes. When you are a leader and the going gets tough, here's what you do. Turn up the team's level of commitment. Give knowledge to the team so that they can effectively solve the problem. Have the team burn the all-nighters. Ensure that the team has enough coffee or even whiskey to last the night. Empower the team and remove any impediments to the team solving the problem or getting data to create that customer presentation. You let the team do whatever it takes. Why leadership is hard. Simon Sinek says, Leadership is a skill like any other. It's practicable, it's a learnable skill. It is something that you work on. It's like a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger leader you become. The lesser you practice, the weaker leader you become. Like parenting, everybody has the capability to do a parent. Doesn't mean everybody wants to become a parent. Doesn't mean everybody should be a parent. Leadership is the same. Everyone has potentially the ability to become a leader. Doesn't mean everybody wants to become a leader, and doesn't mean everybody should be a leader. And there's a single big reason for this. Leadership comes at deep personal sacrifice. Remember, you are not in charge. You are responsible for those in your charge. That means when everything goes right, you give away the credit. And when everything goes wrong, you stand still and you take all the responsibility. That sucks, right? When things break, instead of shouting and screaming, you step back and you say, let's solve this. And then you let them solve it while you absorb all the pressure that's coming along your way. And you protect the team. 5 signs to check if you're still doing, which will tell you how far out you are in the scale of moving from a doer to a leader. Number 1, you're constantly swamped with tactical work. Check if the majority of the work that you are doing today is tactical. Example, do an upgrade for this server, do this release, do this audit, write this script, so on and so forth. In the last 3 months, all the accolades have come to you. The accolades are for you, not for anybody in the team. That means that your team is not enough exposed to the organization, and you personally are still running the show. Number 3, your organization cannot run without you. Even if you take a day's leave, all important decisions and even communication is paused. No one else has the authority or the willingness to take decisions on your behalf. Others in your organization specifically want you in their meetings and nobody from your team. That means no one in the team is seemed as capable enough because you have not built that perception for your team. If you are seeing any of these signs, wake up, my dear friend, and smell the coffee. Technically strong in one area, made leader in another area. This happens quite a lot in large organizations. You're made leader of an area that you're not technically competent in. You cannot even understand the technology language, let alone guide them technically. Number 1, self-realization. Realization of what's happened with them. Internally accept that you do not know this area technically yet. Number 2, gain knowledge. But gain strategic knowledge of that area. Do not try to master the technical nitty-gritties of that field. It'll take you a long time and the kids on the block will still be better than you. Use your core background as the base and understand the fundamentals of the new field. For example, if you're from an infrastructure background and you're now heading the DevOps team, do not try to be an expert in Kubernetes. It's not your battle to win. Instead, understand the fundamentals of containerization, learn about infrastructure as code, figure out what Chef, Puppet, Ansible does, what's the advantage of using Terraform, learn the basics of these things, and then go ahead and learn about serverless as well. Map all of this to your virtualization domain with VMware in the past. Now you can speak the lingo. Number 3, very important, talk to the team. Level with them that you are here to enable them to succeed. If a technical help is required and if they get stuck, you know where and how to get the help from. It might not be from you directly, and that's okay. Also, let the team know that you know enough of that area that they cannot take you for a trip. Resistance of people in a technology transformation. Every leader today worth his salt is undergoing a transformation. Either you're directly running the transformation or you're responsible for the transformation happening within your team. And typically within the team, there will be some people for high resistance. Let's see how to break that and how I have seen some people do it with the law of diffusion. Now, if I draw the bell curve for you, we can break it down into a couple of segments. The first segment, the first about 3% are the innovators. These are the big idea people, the visionaries. The next segment, about 10 to 13%, these are the early adopters. They will jump at anything that interests them. The next two big segments is called the early majority and the late majority. It's about 34% each. These are the cynical and the practical types. They ask questions like, what's in it for me? Why do I need to do this? I don't have the time for all of this, and so on. And the last segment, that's about 16%, the laggers. The only reason they will do something is because they have no choice left. The law of diffusion states that you cannot achieve stickiness for a new idea until you have achieved about 15 to 18% adoption. That is the tipping point. Now, out of that 18%, the first about 10%, they are the just get it folks. The gap from 10 to about 15 to 18%, that elusive 5 to 8% is what Jeffrey Moore calls the chasm. That's the magical gap. The way to win over the chasm is not to talk to the majority. You ignore them because they will drag you down and you won't even know what hit you. Focus on the early adopters, demonstrate success, and then the majority will automatically follow you. So how does spirituality help in this transition from a doer to a leader? Peter Drucker famously said, if we cannot manage ourselves, how will we manage others? And the start of managing ourselves is to be self-aware. What does that mean? It means going inside within, understanding who we are, what are our core values, and what do we stand for. Now there are two types of self-awareness. Number one, internal. Who we are, what is our North Star, what do we stand for. External self-awareness, how others see us and our perception. Both of these are important, but in balanced measure. If there's too much internal self-awareness, we become self-obsessed. If there's too much external self-awareness, we become too focused on what everybody thinks about us and we forget who we really are. Let me give you some practical tips on how to build these self-awarenesses. Let's start with building the internal self-awareness. Number one, meditation. It helps you get in touch with yourself. If you've never ever done meditation in your life before, don't worry about it. Go to YouTube and search for basic 10-minute guided meditation. You'll see a ton of them pop up. Pick up one that speaks to you and start. Once you've done this enough and you can focus your mind for 10 minutes, then we can talk about the bigger steps. Gratitude. A written down list of what you are grateful for, written every single day with a pen and paper. You could be grateful for your wife, for your kids, for your partners, for your bosses, anything. Setting intention for the day. one thing that you want to accomplish today. Just one thing. It could be work related, it could be coding that function, it could be debugging that problem, creating that presentation, or it could be something personal as well. Do that exercise, take the kid to the game, anything. Whatever is important today. Number 4, journaling. Take a pen and paper and just start writing. Write for 5 minutes or write 2 pages. Whatever comes to your mind, just put it on the pen and paper. The important thing, don't block, don't think before writing. Just write. Once you get comfortable in writing and putting your head on a piece of paper, we can talk further. Consistent reflection. Now this is slightly advanced levels where you think about your life for the past couple of days, weeks, or months. The idea is to find a pattern. Are you constantly late for something? Are you constantly not getting something that you've desired? Are you constantly feeling irritated? Can you not sleep properly? Once you find a pattern, you can identify certain things happening in your life. If they are not what you want them to be, you correct the patterns, the results will self-correct. External self-awareness. A great way of doing this is to create your own board of directors for your own life. These are the people who have your best interest in their hearts. Typically, board of directors is about 3 to 5 people at max. Let me tell you how I like to think about the board of directors. Number 1, one close friend, preferably in the same profession as yours. Might not be in the same field, so that he or she can understand what I'm trying to convey about work. Number 2, family. And by family, I mean spouse, girlfriend, mate, brother, sister, basically anybody who knows you very, very well today, not from when you were 10 years old. Third, and this is if you're really lucky, one teammate that you can 100% trust. Maybe your deputy or somebody very, very close in your team who's almost your experience level. Very hard to get. Depending upon what's troubling you or what advice you're looking for, you would go to the appropriate person in your life's board of directors. And all the principles of self-awareness that I've spoken about, they're difficult to do on a daily basis. Maybe sometimes you got too busy in life and didn't do the journaling part or didn't do the meditation part because life got in the way. That's okay. A big part of self-awareness is developing a sense of compassion and non-judgment. Do not beat yourself up. Cut yourself some slack. Ralph Ellison famously said, "When I discover who I am, I'll be free." Hope this video made sense and gave you some clarity on how to transition from a doer to a leader. Comment on any other topic that you would like me to make a video on and I'd add it to my backlog list. Head over to my channel to watch more useful content. Take care and see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.